This worksheet is going to cover graphing linear equations in two variables. So in the previous chapter, we talked about linear equations in one variable. That meant you had one type of variable. It was all x's or all y's or all p's or all s's, whatever the variable was. In this chapter, we're gonna shift gears a little bit and we're going to talk about equations that have two variables. And we're going to talk about equations pretty specifically for the most part that have x's and y's, okay? And the reason for that is going to come up as we look at where we graph these equations. So we're going to do one video on topics 1, 2, and 3, okay? So topic 1 is just what is the rectangular coordinate system? So this is where we graph our equations, but we need to know, like, what is it? What does it do? All right. So definition, the rectangular coordinate system, also called the Cartesian plane, is a two-dimensional plane that consists of two number lines that intersect at right angles. And you can see an image of that here on the right. This is the rectangular coordinate system, or the Cartesian plane, okay? And this is where we graph equations in two variables. So we're talking about linear equations in this chapter, so this is where we would graph lines, all right? Now, we need to understand these two lines that make up the rectangular coordinate system. We also need to understand what these four regions are. So first of all, the horizontal number line is called the x-axis, okay? And it is really important that you understand the x-axis versus the vertical number line, which is the y-axis. All right, you absolutely have to know the difference between those two, so start making that make sense in your head now. Now, the point where these two lines intersect is called the origin. So this point right here, and I'm going to kind of really obnoxiously label it so you can see it. This is called the origin. So anytime we go to plot points or graph, we kind of start here and then go left, right, up, down, okay? Now, we have, hopefully very clearly, four different regions. So when you have this x-axis and this y-axis and they intersect forming right angles, it creates these four regions that we call quadrants, okay? So we always start in the upper right-hand corner and we move counterclockwise. That's how we number our quadrants. And again, this is one of those things that you just really need to understand because we're going to deal with the Cartesian plane quite a bit this semester. We're going to graph several different types of things. So understanding the Cartesian plane now is important. So generally memorizing things is not the best way to go about it, but some of this stuff you just have to memorize it, okay? So upper right-hand corner, we have quadrant 1. We do use Roman numerals to label the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4. Moving counterclockwise to the upper left-hand corner, we have quadrant 2, and then we have quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Now, V in Roman numerals is a 5. Putting a 1 in front of it tells me it's 5 minus 1 or 4. So 4 looks a little wacky. But this whole upper right-hand corner, that's quadrant 1. The whole upper left-hand corner is quadrant 2, and then 3, and then 4. Okay, so that's just the basics of how we build this rectangular coordinate system. In the next topic, we're going to talk about what we do with it. Okay. So for topic 2, we have points and ordered pairs. So let's look at a few definitions here. So the first definition is each point in the Cartesian plane corresponds to an ordered pair of real numbers. Okay, so you need to know what ordered pairs are because that's the heart and soul of what we're going to be doing when we graph. We have to know these ordered pairs. So ordered pairs always come in this format. It's going to be two numbers in parentheses separated by a comma, okay? Now, we need to know what those two numbers are. So the first number in an ordered pair is called the x coordinate. So this right here is the x coordinate. That's why I've labeled it generically x. So this is the x coordinate. And it denotes the distance and direction from the origin along the x-axis. So if I have a negative x coordinate, that tells me from the origin I would go to the left, okay? If I have a positive x coordinate, that tells me from the origin I'm going to the right, okay? Now that second number in the ordered pair, this right here, is called the y coordinate, okay? And the y coordinate denotes the distance and direction from the origin along the y-axis. So if I have a negative y coordinate that says from the origin, I would go down. If I have a positive y coordinate that says from the origin, I would go up. So x's go left and right, and then y's go up and down. Okay, now let's practice. So example 2 says plot and label each point on the Cartesian plane. So our first point here is A. So we want to figure out where A is. We're going to put a point there. To plot a point, you just usually put a dot, and then we're going to label it A. So starting at the origin, I have an x coordinate of 2 and a y coordinate of 5. So here's how you actually plot. From the origin, you plot the x coordinate first, and then from the x coordinate, you go up or down for your y. Okay? So I'm at the origin. My x coordinate is 2, so I'm going to go to the right 1, 2. And then from there, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so again, you plot your x coordinate first, you go left or right, and then from wherever you are, left or right, you then go up or down. So this is the point A. So we've plotted A. Now, next up, we have B, which is 0, 4. So if your x coordinate is 0, you don't go left or right, you just go up or down. If your y coordinate is 0, you go left or right, but then you don't go up or down. Okay, so in this case, we have 0, 4, so I just chill at the origin. I don't go left or right, but I do go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's the point B. Okay. Now, the point C, we have negative 1, comma 6. So the x coordinate is negative 1. The y coordinate is 6. So at the origin, I want to go to the left 1. So I'm at the origin, I go to the left 1, and then I want to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's the point C. Okay, nice and slow. Always double check yourself. Count very carefully, because if you're off even by just 1, it kind of throws the whole graph off. All right, part D, we have negative 3, negative 1. So this tells me from the origin, I'm going to go to the left 3. So the first number is the x. It always tells you left or right. So I'm going to go to the left 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go down 1 for the y. So this is the point D. Okay. Now for point E, we have the ordered pair negative 2, 0. So this tells me that at the origin, I'm going to go to the left, but then I'm not going to go up or down. So I go back 1, 2, and then I don't go up or down, and that is the point E. Okay? And then we have the point F, which is just 0, 0. So this is actually a really, really important point, and we've talked about it before. So we know if the x coordinate is 0, we don't go left or right. We know if the y coordinate is 0, we don't go up or down. So that would just be the origin. So make sure you know that the origin is represented with the ordered pair 0, 0. Okay? And then finally, we've got sorry, my eyes itching. We have point G, which is 5, negative 4. So at the origin, I go to the right 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the point G. So it's really important that you understand how to plot basic points. So x coordinate is always first. It tells you to go left or right. Y coordinate is always second. And then you plot or you don't really plot, but you address where your x coordinate is. And then from the x coordinate, go up or down to get to the y coordinate. All right. So finally, it's not even topic 3, it's example 3. So we'll do this one, and then the next video will be topic 3. So it says, determine the ordered pair that represents each point plotted on the Cartesian plane. So now we're just doing basically the opposite of what we did in the previous example. So for example 1, we were plotting the points. Now points have been plotted. We need to tell what that ordered pair would have to be. So let's figure out where A is. All right, so A, hopefully you see it, it's here along the x-axis. So at the origin, to get to A, I would move to the right 1, 2, 3, but then I don't go up or down, and I'm at A. So the ordered pair that would represent A would be positive 3, because I had to go to the right from the origin, and then because I didn't go up or down, the y coordinate would just be 0. So x coordinate 3, y coordinate 0. All right, part B. So to get to the ordered pair B, that's up in quadrant 1, I would have to go from the origin to the right 2. So I would go 1, 2, and then I would have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to B. So I would have to go to the right 2, which is positive 2 for the x coordinate, and then I have to go up 5, which is positive y for the y coordinate. Okay, C. So to get to C, that's in quadrant 2. So from the origin, I would have to go to the left. So I'd have to go to the left 1, 2, 3. And then from that point, I would have to go up 2 to get to C. So my x coordinate would have to be negative 3. And then my y coordinate would have to be positive 2. All right. Now point D, hopefully you can see it is in quadrant 3. To get to D, I would have to go from the origin to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. And then from there, I would have to go down 1, 2, 3 units. So we would have an x coordinate of -6 and a y coordinate of -3. All right, part E, notice E is here along the y-axis. So at the origin, I wouldn't need to go left or right at all, but I would have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So my x-coordinate would be 0 since I didn't go left or right. Y-coordinate would be -5. All right, point F is over here in quadrant 4. To get to F, I would have to move from the origin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right. And then from there, I would go down 1, 2. So I would have -6, -2. So just remember, direction tells you if it's positive or negative, and then just count to get the number. And then finally, G, we can see G is at the origin. Don't forget, the origin is always represented by the ordered pair, 0, 0. So make sure that you understand how we build the Cartesian plane, understand these definitions, x-coordinate, y-coordinate, or not y-coordinate, x-axis, y-axis, origin, quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. Also rectangular coordinate system, know that definition. You need to know what an ordered pair is, x-coordinate, y-coordinate. You need to know how to plot points, but you also really do need to know how to look at a graph and understand what points are already there plotted. All right?